Today what I'm going to talk about is how to work with your hot seater. Ultimately, the overarching theme between all of these things that I'm going to talk about today is communication. Communication is the key. Now, one of the things that you can do to make things a lot smoother with your operator is to share your outline. What I'm not suggesting is that you do any extra work, but whatever work you are doing to prepare for that direct or for that cross, share it with the hot seat person. Give them more information than less. That's always going to help. When I work with really large firms on very complex cases, I tend to get a very detailed outline, usually from 30 to 100 pages long, with every Q&A listed out, and snippets or screenshots of the exhibits that are listed, and so I can know ahead of time what exhibit and what page is on there that's going to come up. It doesn't have to be that complicated. A lot of times when I'm in smaller trials or in state court, I might just get a list in an email of here's the 5 or 6 exhibits, or here's the 20 exhibits that we're going to use. Preferably if I can get some pages, that also helps. And again, if I get that ahead of time with enough time so I can look at all these exhibits, make sure I have them, and also so I can kind of get a feel for the case and this witness and the exhibits and understand, like, all right, here's where this person is likely going to go. Sometimes I get stuff that's just written on the back of a napkin from lunch, and other times I get nothing at all. And so the thing to remember is, when you don't give a lot of information ahead of time to your hot seat person or your operator, it could slow things down. The more detail you give, the faster things get. If you give less detail, things are going to take a little bit longer because I've got to go hunt and peck for this stuff. The next thing you can do is to know the exhibit number and the page number. And so you might know things from discovery or from whatever shadow files that you've been keeping on your iPad or on your laptop as, page 498 of this huge 3,000 page PDF exhibit. But from a practical matter, you want to be able to identify for the record what exhibit you were talking about with a specific witness and what page. And if you don't give that information, or if you just give a discovery base, the appellate court might be able to get there, but it's going to be a lot harder for them to do that and understand what you were talking about. And the final thing that I can say to make your life a lot easier and to make communication smoother between yourself and the hot seat operator is to be specific. A lot of times I get a request to pull up exhibit 38, and it might be a 600-page exhibit. And so I'll pull up the first page if I'm not given any kind of specification, and then the attorney might be like, what is this? It's exhibit that you asked for. It has the sticker in the lower right-hand corner. It's a 600-page exhibit. I don't know what page you want to go to ahead of time if you haven't given me an outline or any sort of indication as to what page it is. So be specific. If you want page 400 of exhibit 38, tell me exhibit 38, page 400. That's something that you should be identifying for your record anyhow. That's enough information for someone like me to understand where you want to go. And then if you want something blown up, don't just say make it bigger, because if I make it bigger, I can only make so much of the document bigger. And so if you don't specify what part of the document you want bigger, I'm just going to make the exhibit fit to width, and you'll get kind of the top third. But instead, if this is, say, an email or a letter, you can say, let's go to page 400, exhibit 38. Let's zoom in or focus in on the third paragraph, or let's focus in on the second email. Again, this is something that you want to be doing for your record on appeal, but also it's really great practice and a really great way of communicating with your hot seater. And so those are just some very quick tips on how you can improve communication and work better with your operator or your hot seat person. If you have any other tips that you think are essential, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Let me know. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you on the next one.